published it. I guess the part I don't understand is that Chavez and Ahmadinejad have the coziest of relations. I'm just wondering if the decision of the publishing house had any political undertones, or was it just economic motives?
Let me give the group a little bit of a background. Yes, in fact, I did finish, should we say, the first version of this book in 1992. At that moment, I was living in Spain, and I wrote the book to denounce the crime and the injustice, because the Austrian authorities did release the witnesses to the crime, and the Austrian authorities, in a certain way, were complicit in that this case has not been solved. So that was my first intention, and also to tell the story of the Kurds through the perspective of Abdul Rahman Ghassemlou, who also has a fascinating life. I gave it to my agent that time, and she went to different publishers in Spain, and the answer was always the same. The book is excellent, it's very well written, it reads like a novel, but who is interested in the Kurds? And this was the same answer over and over again in Spain. Then she took it to the Mexican publishers, and the same answer, nobody is interested in the Kurds. And I took it to the Venezuelan publishers. I mean, I have relations and contacts. And it was the same, nobody's interested in this theme. So I shelved the book. And in 2005, the invasion had happened. I took it out. The Kurds were in the news. Not the Iranian Kurds, but the Kurds were in the news. And, of course, there was a lot of interest in Venezuela for Iran. So when I sent it to the publisher, immediately, I mean, the first publisher said, yes, we'll publish the book, because we do not know anything about Iran. And Iran is very present in Venezuela right now. We have no idea what we're getting into. Really, Venezuela is a whole other reality, and these bizarre relationships that Chavez has established with the Islamic Republic are really like contra natura, contra nature. So I think it was more than a political statement. It was really so that people would understand who we are dealing with. Venezuelans really did not have an idea about that. So I guess that was really the interest of the publisher. And once the book was published, I was surprised. For 2 months, I was on the media constantly. I mean, the universities, radio, television, written press. It was impressive, the interest. And I was surprised. 20 years before, I couldn't get a word, a peep in about the Kurds. And now here I was talking about Ghassemlou 20 years after, and with enormous interest. So I think it's more about understanding who this country is that is very present in our foreign policy, in our commercial trades, and beyond the political project that Chavez has.
I'm from Voice of America, Persian News Network. You mentioned that they are waiting for the Green Movement to give them a sign or throw their support behind the Kurdish and other ethnic minorities as well. People from Iran, the Green Movement, they explain that Iran is a big prison which has got all Iranian tribes, all Iranian nations, all Iranian different dialects and cultures in prison in there. And the Green Movement, it includes many different people from Azeri, from Baluchi, from Kurdish. They are not asking in the street whether, are you Kurdish, you have joined us? Are you Turkish, you have joined us? Why is it that Kurdish have got this thing in their mind? Why don't they take the first step? They're not asking, you are included, you're not included. Iranian people now, they're all saying that we should join united against theocracy and go for the freedom. Why is the attitude among the Kurdish?
I think the question was...
Well, I think, as I mentioned, is that the Green Movement, and any movement for that matter, is that it will be inclusive if the ethnic groups are mentioned. And as I quoted a quote from Ghassemlou, that he said, a meaningful democracy without mentioning and considering and respecting the rights of the ethnic minorities and also giving them a say in the future of Iran is meaningless. And it's the same thing with the Green Movement. Green Movement talks about regime change, talks about ethnic rights, it talks about rights and human rights and things like that. But the Green Movement doesn't mention the rights of the ethnic groups in their future in Iran. And I think it's not only the Kurds who are kind of skeptical about the fact that joining the movement. We've seen it in Ahwaz, in the Arab areas. We've seen it in Balochistan. So, I mean, maybe yes, the opposition or the Kurdish movement groups are quite outspoken about the fact that yes, they will not join unless they are hurt. But there's also similar sentiment from the other ethnic groups as well, including Azeris, including maybe with less, with lesser degree of opposition, or at least to this idea. But again, I mean, there still exists a lot of mistrust between these very ethnic groups, and Kurds are probably more outspoken. But again, I think, and I've heard, and we've seen a lot of statements from other ethnic groups asking for the same thing as well. But it's not about Green Movement. We're not asking for the Green Movement to tell us whether you're Kurd or whether you're Azeri. It's a matter of principle that for a country that composes of more than half of its population belongs to ethnic groups, it's a matter of principle that their future within Iran is known, that they're not going to participate in something that not knowing what will happen. So there has to be some sort of recognition and talking about this issue beforehand, and this is one of their conditions.
If you exclude yourself, you will be excluded. You say that there are 10 million Kurdish, they're not small amount if there are 10 million Kurdish exist and live in Iran. They should go for it. They should include themselves. They should demand, as Iranian people are fighting against a regime which is very brutal, and they are dying in the street. We have seen it. So they should hand in hand do it and demand their rights. Join in and demand afterward. Nobody.
Right. Thank you. The point is taken. Would the political analyst like to analyze this?
Well, I can say that. I mean, the question of the ethnic or national minorities, put that aside, there are people, Persians, who are skeptical toward the Green Movement because they perceive that the Green Movement has no clear objective. Do you want regime change in Iran, or do you want to change Ahmadinejad's government? So currently there is a confusion. So why join a movement? Why sacrifice your life when you don't know what the objectives are? And imagine a situation where Ahmadinejad is removed and Mousavi is president of Iran. What kind of changes would that generate domestically and for the international community with regard to Iran's foreign and security policies? And consider the Obama administration. They're watching what is happening in Iran, but the Obama administration doesn't take the Green Movement seriously, not because people are not willing to sacrifice or to engage in demonstrations, because they don't know what this Green Movement wants. And the same rationality, I think, one can find political parties representing the ethnic or national minorities in Iran. KDPI is one such group who has explicitly said that we are not willing to support and sacrifice and call on people to engage in demonstrations where in Iranian Kurdistan, for example, if they kill 5 people in Tehran, imagine they will kill 50 people in Mahabad. So 500, I don't know, but they will certainly kill more people in. So why engage in something that will, at the best, will only usher in a change